Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. These podcasts are brought to you in part by our sponsors who really truly are what make these podcasts possible every week. O'Fallon Nutrition is a company that I've worked with for over 15 years. They're independently owned and operated, located here in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off of Highway K and Mexico Road. I call this place the Whole Foods of St. Charles County, but even if you are not located on this side of the river, it is still worth the drive. I can remember working all the way down at Powerhouse and still sending people out to O'Fallon Nutrition for their supplements. They are more than a supplement company. You can get grass-fed beef, salad dressing, seasoning for your cooking, hair care products, makeup, deodorant, toothpaste, essential oils, and all the vitamins and minerals that you can think of. If you're looking for clean, whole food nutrition, as well as home care, house care, skincare products, O'Fallon Nutrition is your place. You can take a look at them at o'fallonnutrition.com, or if you'd like to have something shipped, if you're listening to me from outside of St. Louis, you can certainly have items shipped. I know they do free shipping if it's an order over $50, and the phone number is 636-240-5283. Again, it's o'fallonnutrition.com. As well as if preparing your food on a weekly basis is your primary excuse for why you're not able to stay on a good, clean eating program, which is something that I hear very regularly from my clients, I would ask you to please take the time to check out Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com. They are a phenomenal place. We get our food from there during the week. They deliver to our Integrity location. They will deliver to your house. They also are just available for pickup. You can go to their Chesterfield location or their Kirkwood location and just pick up meals for the day, as well as just having them delivered right to your door. So if preparing your food is your main excuse for why you cannot stay on a healthy eating program, then I would suggest just stop by Pure Plates. Just try it. If you're trying to lower your blood pressure, you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you're trying to get your blood sugar down, try to do Pure Plates meals for a week and just see how different you feel. These are organic meals. They are gluten-free. If you need them to be, they can be dairy-free. They are soy-free. You're not taking any processed sugars or meat-curing agents or preservatives. They really, truly believe in nutrient-dense meals that are just whole food nutrition. And I've had my clients, or I've made recommendations for my clients for years at Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com, or you can call them to ask questions at 636-778-3555. Again, remembering that they have a location in Chesterfield as well as in Kirkwood that you can just run by and pick up a meal today. Everyone always asks me where I get my meat from, and given that I really eat meat on a daily basis, typically beef primarily, my meat is very important to me. I have an autoimmune condition and I want grain-free, corn-free meat, and I just haven't found the confidence in stores in knowing that I'm getting 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I have searched and searched and searched for the right farm, and I have found the farm. It's fedfromthefarm.com, fed, F-E-D, from thefarm.com. These farmers are amazing. It's a family. They're here in Missouri, and they have the desire, just like I do, to see people well and to see people healthy, and they put a lot into what they do. It's such a wonderful family to support. They do offer 100% grass-finished, grass-fed, meaning that's it. A beef, and I get my ribeyes, I get my ground beef, my ground sirloin, I get my chuck roast. I mean, they basically have everything. They even have awesome jerky, but they also have eggs, they have chickens, and they have turkey. I'm planning on getting a turkey for Thanksgiving, and if you'd like lamb, they have that as well. But if you are in need of good quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or quality eggs, chicken, turkey, don't just settle for what you're getting at the local store. to go out on the internet and check out Fed from the Farm. That you can arrange a pickup or you can have it delivered to your home. And I can guarantee you're going to taste the difference. For me, my health actually depends on it. So I really thank God to have found such a great farmer. Fedfromthefarm.com. I hope it blesses you.
Welcome to Faith, Fuel, and Fitness, the Integrity Way, with your hosts, John and Debbie Morris from Integrity Training Systems.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We're happy to be back this week talking to you about what it means to be a warrior. A warrior is a brave and or experienced fighter or soldier. So if you are any of those four variables or two of them put together, that would mean that you're a warrior. So if you've been a soldier and you've been brave, then that's fantastic. If you've been a fighter and you are experienced in fighting anything in life, then that's fantastic. You're also a warrior. But there's any blend of that combination that makes you need to identify as someone who can overcome something in your life. And I say this every week. So if you're new to us, great. If not, you've heard it. But anything or anybody in life has had to overcome something. So regardless of where you're sitting at in your life right now, if you are a baby and you are 2 months old, you have had to overcome the process of being birthed. So everybody's had something in life, a hardship that they've had to deal with. And if you're sitting around thinking that you can't overcome what it is that you're currently overcoming, I challenge you to change the mindset, because sometimes we think about something and we think so long and hard on whether or not it's possible that we actually almost make it impossible for ourselves. We just defeat ourselves so much in our mind and our spirits that our bodies will follow that. So anything that you're dealing with that you feel like you can't take on your own, I believe the Bible calls us actually to surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. So I challenge you to find a group of people and or an expert in what you're dealing with and just dive headlong into it with them. So each week we talk about something that Debbie or I are both dealing with and need to overcome, or we have a client that is someone's dealing with, just to kind of let everybody out there know that everybody's going through something. So, Deb, why don't you start us off on this? Do you have anything that you want to share in this segment today?
Well, one thing that I think that really is not me specifically that I've encountered over the weekend and watching was our daughter kind of going into a different phase in her life. And she's about to turn 12. And we, I said, I'd really like to go to the gym on Sunday because I really sense that Sophie's kind of in a different mental place, and I really feel like it would just benefit her if we were, having group family workouts, and we did that on Saturday night, so I just felt like it would be good for her to do it on Sunday. And I noticed she even said, I can't believe the weekend is almost over, because I just felt like she was just benefiting so much from her time with us. But our daughter Sophie has gone through kind of like this a pretty extreme situation with her stomach where her stomach is actually like measuring at like a size 10 or to 12, but yet the rest of her body is basically a size 2. And it's an extreme amount of swelling. It's like extraordinary. It's extremely uncomfortable for her, very, very uncomfortable at the end of the day. Her circulation's cut off. It's just very uncomfortable. And so we finally, after going through a series of different medical tests and doctors, determined that she had a parasite and also that she has an infection. And she has a pretty extreme sensitivity to gluten. She really has to avoid gluten. But because of what else is going on, she has to also avoid sugar, anything that converts to sugar, because that could feed the parasite and feed the infection. And then she also needs to avoid dairy. So this is not like simple tasks because we only have her 50% of the time. And so there's a whole other household and a whole other family that has to be involved and that has to be equipped They have to have all the supplements. They have to have all the medications. They have to know the ins and outs of making the food. And there's a lot to it. And for the past 6 months, it's just bounced like a ping pong ball back and forth. And she hasn't gotten a resolve. And there's been no progress. Her stomach has been the same. The infection is actually basically getting worse. It's not improving. And so we had this point where Sophie basically decided, like, I can't live like this anymore. I don't want this for my body anymore. I'm tired of being inflamed. I'm tired of this swelling. I want a different life. And as an 11-year-old, that's a pretty impressive decision to make. And so she went back to her mom's house and basically told her mom, Mom, I have to eat different. I want to do this differently. And I mean, she had a series of parties. Now, this has, of course, been about 6 weeks now that she's been doing this, but she had a series of parties. Sophie's been taught how to cook at our house. She actually can cook a whole entire meal. She cooks for her grandparents all the time. And she prepped her food for her parties, and she brought her own food, and she completely set herself up. Well, this weekend, she weighed herself just to see how things were going, and she measured her waist. This is not for how she looks. This is to see how much inflammation has gone down. And she was down by 8 pounds in 6 weeks. And then I guess it's been 6 weeks. It might have even only been 4 weeks.
I think it's closer to 4.
Okay.
It's been right at a month.
And then her inches that she was down, was it 4 inches from her waist?
At least.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact original measurement. We probably should have wrote it down, but we were just kind of trying to get a gauge at that point. We weren't necessarily like trying to track change. We just kind of wanted to see where she was at based off of the swelling that was going on with everything you just mentioned. But I feel like it was closer to like 5 or 6, actually,
Right.
was the inch change.
So for Sophie, it was like, she was like, you could tell it took her to a new level to see, okay, things are changing. And it was like her mindset shifted. It was like a renewal or a refresh when she saw, okay, what I'm doing is working and I'm actually improving. And she came to us and she said, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I feel like my swelling is down in my stomach. She says when I jump during my sessions, because she trains with our trainer Josh once a week, I feel lighter when I'm jumping, and I feel different. Can you guys tell? And we said yes, Sophie, we can tell. We can definitely tell. But like, I feel like she warriored up. She basically stepped up to the plate and said, I can't live like this anymore. I'm 11, and I know that I need to be healthier than what I am. I've learned from my Debbie mama and listening to her radio show since I was 3 years old. I know what bad food's doing to me. I know this swelling is not normal. I know I have an infection. I know I have a parasite. I've got to do what it takes to kill it. I've got to fight for this. And this weekend, I just saw that loss, where she's lost that inflammation and she's changed in inches. I saw something shift in her mind where she was like, I'm in this. I'm doing this. She actually, when we made dinner last night, asked if she could take some of those meals. We pre-prepared them. Could I take some of those? I just love those meals. I messaged her mom, asked if it was a problem. She said it was no problem. She asked if she could have some of the Sophie's baked goods delivered over there. She's just equipping herself, and she's going to be 12. It's a pretty remarkable thing. At any age, you can be a warrior. At any age, you can train your kids to be healthier. There's no excuse for why your kids can't be healthy. Sophie is going to lead her family into a healthier lifestyle just by her being a healthy child, just by her going over there and living healthy in front of them. She's leading her friends at school. She brings electrolytes for them. She brings the Sophie's baked goods. She tells them about eating this instead of that at lunchtime. She's becoming a leader, and she's only 11. So it as a parent, if you're struggling and coming up with excuses, and your kids are one of your biggest excuses for why you can't be healthy, I'm telling you, your kids are your number one reason why you have to fight to be healthy. Because our daughter has like disease living inside her gut, and if we are not focused on her and coaching her and allowing her to create her own relationship with food, she is going to end up with so many different health issues as she gets older because she's not dealing with that now.
Yeah, I just think that a lot of times, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the next segment as well, but what we hear when it comes to kids is, I can't be healthy because of my kids, instead of I should be healthy because of my kids. And the two most common explanations for that are, well, you don't understand, my kid won't eat healthy, my kid won't eat clean, or I don't want to deprive my child, I don't want them to miss out on these things that they're eating. And so, I don't really want to put them in a situation where I create like a food disorder, an eating disorder, because I'm causing them to miss out on this stuff when they're young. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's actually the opposite of that ends up happening. So
you're providing them with a path for a healthy life, and that means they can accomplish anything. And that discipline pattern, it trickles down into all areas of their life. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems with a 6-month nutrition program, no matter what the age, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208 for a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-finished meat, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Just got done talking about our daughter warrioring up and deciding to make a difference in what she does for her own health, because she's kind of just hit a point where she's had enough, and it's like, it's interesting to hear of an 11-year-old doing that. If you're an adult and you're running through the loop, the circle, you're swimming in rinse cycle in the washing machine, and you're kind of just bumping around thinking, man, I want out of this, but it's not getting any better. It's like, if an 11-year-old can decide to do it, so can you. Like, you have to make a decision, though. Like, you have to decide, I'm not going to feel like this anymore. I want to feel better. I want to be well. And what do I got to do to do it? For our daughter, it was a matter of like, okay, I'm going to have the food prepped. This is where I'm going to do it. When I'm over at my mom's house, I'm going to have, these 3 things going. And she went to her mom and had a conversation with her, and her mom is backing her on it. It's like, you might think that you can't do something because you don't have the backing for it or the support, but it might surprise you where the support actually comes from. And at the end of the day, I want to talk a little bit about kids. It's like, so many people tell us, like I mentioned in the first segment, it's like, well, I can't eat clean because my children won't eat clean. And so, like, by the time I make something for my husband and by the time I make something for my kids, it's like, I don't even have time for myself. So I can't even make myself clean food. And, I think where some people go wrong is they think clean immediately means like flavorless. It's like, well, my kids won't eat plain chicken and plain green beans. Well, that's not what we're asking you to do. There's a reason Debbie's wrote 5 cookbooks, or 6 or whatever she's up to now. It's like, there's simple ways to make foods that taste good so that your children and your husbands and your wives are actually capable of getting healthy with you. And recently, I actually made a post online because I kind of had this odd moment of acknowledging how big Sophie had gotten. We have a picture in the gym of her when she was like 3, standing in front of me on a bench, and she comes up to like my rib cage. And now at 11, when she stands on the bench, she's eye to eye with me. And I just said, what are you demonstrating in front of your children? We hear, I can't eat clean because of my kids, or I don't have time to work out because of my kids. But I really think that you have to change that mindset. Like, At first, you might not want to, and it might be hard, but I'm going to be honest with you, not many people do. Arnold Schwarzenegger at one point in time made a post where he talked, our post on social media, he made a comment in an interview where he was talking about loving the pump, loving the feel of the workout. Like, that's actually pretty rare. People that'll say like, oh man, I wish I had your motivation to work out and be healthy. It's like, no, you don't. I'm not motivated. I'd love to leave here and have something I shouldn't have, but I'm disciplined. I acknowledge that I need to do that to be the best I can be for my family. Otherwise, it's all going to fall apart, and if you set this precedence in front of your children and you live it out in front of them, they actually stand a chance to be successful at overcoming this. And the earlier you start, the better. Now, yeah, if your kid's 2 or 3 and they've been running on hot dogs, fruit snacks, and gummy bears their whole life, it's going to be a bit of a detoxification process. You're going to have to rewire a palate. It ain't going to be easy, but it needs to be done. Because if you're telling yourself, my kid won't, my kid can't, you don't understand, my kid won't eat something clean, or you're saying, I don't want them to miss out on this stuff, what you're actually going to cause them to miss out on is their health as an adult. And at the end of the day, like, are you not wanting to miss out on something, or are you just not wanting to have to deal with the stress, the pressure, and the added work of pushing them through it, which is kind of just being a parent.
Right, exactly. And the thing is I know that it seems hard in the beginning, but so many things are going to change by doing it. So, you're not recognizing that a lot of the behavioral issues that you may deal with your kids, they actually start to change when you do start to change their food. Their grades start to improve. Their focus, they start to sleep better. They start to respond to you better in a more positive manner. So the reality is it's like you reap what you sow. So as you sow a healthy lifestyle into them, you reap a healthy child back, and they demonstrate that through their behavior. And so there is a reward in the time that you put in it. The other thing that you'll get to see is that your child is not going to grow up with a disease. In Sophie's case, if she would continue down the path with gluten, she very likely, she has the level of sensitivity to gluten that's like celiac, but she's not testing positive for celiac. But I personally think there's the possibility that she could at some point. Maybe it hasn't graduated to that point. But at the end of the day, she basically would end up with brain issues. She would end up with a mood disorder because of the gut issues. She's going to probably end up with autoimmune if it doesn't get corrected. And what direction that will go, I'm not sure. Rather, that would settle, into her joints. Maybe it will impact her thyroid. It's hard to say. But that would be our responsibility as a parent to try to make her have the healthiest possible future. Okay, now, do we want her to be able to have cake on her birthday? Absolutely. Is she going to have an ice cream cone when we go to Florida for vacation? Very likely. If we could make it to where it's made from almond milk or coconut milk, we're going to do that. And we're going to make sure it's gluten-free. We are going to do things. But does it have to happen every afternoon that she gets to have ice cream or cookies? No. And we have to demonstrate that lifestyle to her because no one else will.
This is the issue, is that so many people say they don't want their kids to miss out, but they don't actually, I don't think people actually even realize the level with which they give this food to their kids. It's like if every weekend there's 1 or 2 birthday parties and they have something there, but on Wednesdays and Fridays you have something at home, that's a treat, and Monday night is pizza night. It's like at the end of the day, what ends up happening is 5 days out of 7, you're off. That's 20 out of an average of 28-ish in a month. Do the math on that.
Yeah.
How on are you really going to be? You want your kids to get good grades in school. What kind of grade on health is that at the end of the day? And Proverbs 13:20 says, "He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." You are called to be wise for your children.
Yes.
So if you are allowing yourself to not be wise and to not set in front of them how they should go forth and be well, the harm inevitably in the future will occur. you may not see it now. You may think, oh, they're enjoying life now, but then later, are they enjoying life, or are they thinking, man, I sure wish this would have been set out for me in the beginning?
Yes.
Sometimes you have to choose your hard for you, and sometimes you have to choose your hard for your kids.
Absolutely. And that we can help with that. I currently am working with probably 7 families, and the age groups go from like age 7 all the way up to age 18, helping with the kids. Some of them are athletes, some of them have ulcerative colitis, some of them have liver issues, some of them have all different types of health issues. If you're unsure of what to do and how to do it, we can help. That's genuinely what we do with our 6-month nutrition program. We also can help with activity levels and just helping you to feel like your child is staying as active as they need to with our personal trainers. We can take you through a free personal fitness assessment. For more information on what we do, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your doorstep from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-finished beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Just talking about kind of being there for your kids on their health journey and exhibiting what needs to be exhibited to make sure that the whole family can stay healthy moving forward. I just spun my microphone in like a 360 there. It was pretty cool. So I just want to spend this segment talking about negotiating for your health. Because like at the end of the day, why are you laughing so hard? What is wrong with you right now?
I was going to hide it. I was holding my breath, but I wasn't even going to say anything.
Hiding it from the video, and the audio can still hear you going.
It was just funny.
You're like hyperventilating over here.
Sometimes I just get a little bit
weird. Yeah, that's true.
Slap happy.
Okay,
I don't know. I'm fasting right now, and I forgot my salt.
So when you start talking about negotiating for your health, some things to think about are, you want to be healthy, but you're just not looking to spend a whole lot of time on it. You want to be healthy, but you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. You don't necessarily want to leave your house to do it. You don't want to give up bread, cheese, cookies, wine. And lastly is that you don't really want to do any of the work that is required to produce change. And so what's fascinating about that is like, I believe 2 things can be true. So, sometimes people think in definitives, like you are either this or you are this. And I think there's gray areas in a lot of regards of life. And what I mean by that is I think that you can want to be healthy. And I think that at the same time, you can want to not put in the work. And so what it comes down to is, which do you want more? And a lot of times you might actually even want to be healthy more than you don't want to put in the work, but you don't know how to execute that plan. And so what'll happen is people are like, well, you hear all these motivational speakers like, you don't want it bad enough. And I don't think that's always true. I think people do want it bad enough, but it's like, where do I even start? Is it a waste of my time? Like if I show up and walk on a treadmill, am I just doing that to do that? Like if I just make green beans and plain chicken with literally no even salt or flavoring on it, like am I going to do that forever? It's like there are ways to learn how to be healthy and how to be well while still getting to feel like you're kind of living life and going in a direction that doesn't make you feel like you're sacrificing everything. And what I mean by everything is sacrificing to a point where you're miserable all the time. It's like you can trade miserable for healthy without trading miserable for another miserable. And I think that a lot of times that's what gets people looping, is people get caught up on this concept that, oh, well, I'm just going to basically not get to live anymore. We hear that with people. It's like, well, I can't stop drinking wine because it's like I got to live a little. And it's like, no, we're trying to get you to live a lottle. Like, you're not going to live the rest of your life long and healthy if you're not giving up the things that are actually making you unwell.
Yeah, that's true. I actually said in that post where I talked about the negotiation is that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And just a lot of times we just get into this cycle where we're just doing the same exact things over and over again. It's just like we talked about with Sophie. I mean, they were just eating the same foods over and over again. And we're expecting the parasite to die. We're expecting the infection to go away. It's not going to happen. And even she stopped the cycle because she was so sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And so the reality is the first thing that has to happen is that you have to say, I have to change something to be able to get some change, right? Like I got to do something different. And if that has to be small steps, if that means getting up in the morning and stretching, putting your legs up the headboard, right, before you even get out of bed, that's one start, okay? If it means that you listen to a motivational or you listen to a sermon while you're in the shower so that the first thing that you listen to is encouraging word and it's actually getting you into a better place. Great. Now we're going to go downstairs. We're going to make your coffee. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that toxic junk that you're putting in it. And we're going to actually do something clean. If that's the only thing you do that day to work towards your health, those three things are going to change the trajectory of your day and of your health. And then if you say, well, I don't have time to get on the treadmill for 40 minutes, great. Get on the treadmill 4 times that day for 10 minutes. Go outside and walk for 10 minutes. Get started where you can get started and do something instead of continually saying that you can't do something. And quit making it about your feelings and quit making it about what you feel like doing and where you want to do it and exactly how to do it. And again, that's where the negotiation comes in. I want to be healthy, but I really don't feel like I have the time to be healthy. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I know some really busy people, and the reason they're effective, the reason they're organized, the reason that they are as good as they are at what they do is because they make the time. And rather that means getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I personally could, if I wanted to, multiple days a week, I could probably sleep until 7 o'clock. I don't. I get up at 5 o'clock. Because I need to be somewhere to make myself healthy. I go to a place and I make myself healthy.
Right.
And I work at it. And that has taken sacrifice. That has taken organization. I have to put a lot of things in place to make sure my daughter gets taken care of, to make sure my dogs get taken care of. I could just say, I can't do this because I have a daughter. I can't do this because I have 3 dogs, in which I had 4 dogs a couple months ago. I can't do this because I own 2 companies. I can't do this because I have a husband. None of that works. None of that flies. Health is your greatest wealth. And if you're not protecting that wealth, you will have no other wealth in your life. You won't have a strong relationship. You won't be great at your career. You won't be building wealth, because if your health isn't there, it's the catalyst to all other areas in your life. And so the writing has to be on the wall. You have to check yourself. You have to confront yourself, and you have to say, enough is enough. I'm not going to continue to live this way. I'm going to start making decisions. If you can't do that, you've got to hire someone. Now, we would love it if you would hire us, but if you don't, you have to hire someone. I literally just referred a lady to a gym that is an hour away from us. I would love it if she would drive to our gym. I want her to drive to our gym, but you know what? She's not going to drive to our gym. She is not going to drive there 3 times a week, an hour away. I wish that she would, because I know we would take great care of her, but I found her a place. I found the exact trainer I want her to be with, and she's going to do it. I care that much about her making a decision to get healthy. She's now making the decisions. She's changing her food. She's getting the exercise in. She's doing some treatments that are better helping her. It all starts with that desire and that movement, that deciding to make a decision that day. But you know where it really starts is in your mind, in placing your health as the number 1 item on the list. If it's not the number 1 item on the list underneath God, guess what's going to happen? It's going to get down to the bottom of the list and your health will deteriorate. You will end up having to make it at the top of your list under God because you'll have no choice, because you'll be battling a disease for sure.
And I always call those red alerts. I always tell people, like, don't require a red alert to decide to be healthy. You know, it's like red alert would be a heart attack, developing diabetes, having to go on a blood pressure medication, just all of these different things that come from getting yourself so unhealthy and so unwell that you have to then decide to unwind your health. It would be like saying, you know what, I'm doing okay without a smoke detector. Like, I don't have one in my house right now, but that's okay. I haven't had a fire, so, you know, I'll get one eventually. And waiting until your house burns down to get a smoke detector, because now you got to rebuild your house and then put a smoke detector in it. Like, you don't want to wait until something cataclysmic happens, because then you're going to have to put the same amount of work in that you would have had to put in before the cataclysm, but B, you have to put more work in because you have to recover from the cataclysm that occurred from the lack of doing the work in the first place. So I always challenge people, like, when they're considering like how hard getting themselves healthy is going to be, it's like, is it really going to be harder now than it is down the road because you've made yourself unwell? You know, it's like, I had to lose 100 pounds because I had a heart attack. That really sucked to do after having a heart attack, because I was unhealthy, unwell, fatigued, and exhausted. But then I also had to be careful how I exercised and did cardio, because I had to watch my heart and make sure my heart rate didn't get too high to where I could potentially have another heart attack. You know, I couldn't just go do the cardio. So it's like, don't put yourself in a position where you have to overcome more than you have to overcome at this moment. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes.
Well, we go to St. Louis Family Church, and Pastor Jeff Perry this weekend, he was talking about Ephesians 4:22, but really just like the whole, like, Ephesians 4 is actually very good. But this Ephesians 4:22, 23, 24 is, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, or to be renewed in your mind, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. And the notes I wrote down was, rid yourself of the old self, okay? Discard the old way of thinking and start loving the fresh new perspectives and start turning things around. Don't be conformed to the patterns of this world, the world of eating pizza, the world of eating sugar all the time. Don't be conformed with society saying that's the norm, okay? But be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How do we renew our mind? We need to renew our mind every single day. Listen to that podcast. Listen to that sermon. Read the Bible. Listen to the Bible if you need to. We need to be removing the old self. And if that's a daily dying to the flesh, then it's a daily dying to the flesh. Whatever it takes to take that off and to set it down and to say, no, I walk into this day new. I walk into this day whole. I walk into this day fresh. Wherever you've come from is behind you. Where we're going forward today, it's all new territory. You can change your health today, one meal at a time. I've been fasting all day, and I plan to fast until 2 o'clock today. I'm actually only going to eat meat for the rest of the day. I'm going to do that for the next 2 days. Just want to do something a little different for the next 2 days to kind of cleanse my body. But at the end of the day, I can do this because my mind is ready for this. My mind is prepared for this. I know what the end result of this could mean for my body and for my health. So I'm doing this today, and I'm committed to this. I challenge you to rid yourself of the old self, the old way of thinking. Shed that. Get rid of that heavy weight and get focused on what God would call you to, what God's calling you to do, which is improving your health. And if you're struggling with that, hire someone. Don't try to do it alone. It's a hard thing to do alone. For more information on a 6-month nutrition program or personal training with us at Integrity, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208 for a free personal fitness assessment. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods, healthy baked goods delivered to your door from My Personal Bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-finished meat, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. Final segment here. I want to talk about just being consistent, and this is something we preach a lot, is consistency. You know, I always say persistence over perfection, and Deb talks a lot and says consistency is key, but here recently she made a post. She actually overheard someone say, let's see here, being consistent is not enough. It will never guarantee you success. It's the intensity with your consistency that matters. And I think that's really good. I think that what you want to think about is like you can be persistent at not doing enough. You know, you can be consistent at putting in 50%. You can be consistent at showing up to the gym and putting in 10 hours a week of work, but not caring at all about what you eat. You know, there's a lot of ways to look at this. Now, again, it's not about perfection, but what it is about is determining what are you trying to accomplish? How healthy are you trying to be? How well are you trying to be? And are you putting in the grade required to get the outcome that you're looking for? I just spoke to a friend of mine about this. He was talking about how he wants to change more in the gym. Like he just wishes he was in better shape. And he's been watching other people that he feels in the gym have changed more rapidly than him. And it was almost like he was doubting a little bit what he was doing. And so I ran some numbers for him. Right now he works out 3 days a week and he works out an hour each day.
You ran numbers.
What?
You ran some numbers.
I do. Yeah. I'm a numbers guy. Like
I love it.
People always are like, "Wow!" Like because I did it for him.
He has this calculator out.
I did it for him in person, but I'm going to do them on the calculator so I can give you some real numbers here.
That's awesome.
Okay, so if you're training 3 days a week, but you on average are missing 1 day, let's say every 4th week, we're going to call that 3 days a week times 4.33, which is the average amount of days that are in a month, which is going to put you at 13, okay? 4.33 weeks in a month. Stay with me here. So that's at 13 times that you're working out a month. But we're going to take that down to 12 because you're probably good to miss at least one of those, right? Okay, so if we take 12 times 12, because that's how many days there are in a year. Okay, so we're at 144 days worked out in a year. That's if we don't take a vacation. That's if we don't get sick for a week. That's literally just saying that maybe in my month I miss a workout a week. Now go ahead and tell me, okay, let's say 365-ish days in a year, okay? So what percentage of days are you working out in your entire year? 39.45-ish%. What percent of change are you looking for? Okay. If you're doing the same thing and you're eating clean 5 days a week, but you're eating garbage 2 days a week because you deserve your weekend, what percentage of change are you looking for? If you've got to have red wine every night because you deserve to live a little, what percentage of change are you actually looking for? Because if you're not putting yourself in a position where you're actually putting in the same effort with the same intensity as the result that you're looking to obtain, it's going to be a problem.
Absolutely. I think, you know, what I try to encourage people to do is to take themselves to a different level. I think that it's easy to, like I said in last segment, sort of conform to this world and the pattern of this world and just, kind of go the easy way. But I try to challenge people to go a completely different level in all areas of their life, but most especially their health, because that habit that you're creating, that change that you're making, it changes all areas of your life then. If you're focused on that and really amping that up and really changing that, you're going to end up amping up your finances. You're going to end up amping up how you do at your job, how you are with your family. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. But in that post, I said it takes intense desire to achieve health. It takes an infatuation with feeling good. It takes a relentless determination to never give up hope that you will be the best version of yourself. And so when I said it takes an infatuation with feeling good, it literally does. I'll never forget the first day that I did cryo. On the drive home, something was different. I just knew it. I was clearer. I could focus. I was excited about what was next in my day. I couldn't wait to go back and do it the next day. I was infatuated with the process. It was like, I want to feel that great every single day. Well, now I've actually accomplished that as my new level of feel good. Okay, I'm actually there. I'm living that. It was a moment in time back then, the first time I did cryo, and then the second time I did cryo. But now that's become my new norm. I'm actually there. So you know where I'm at now? Now I'm trying to figure out how I can feel even better than that. What will that take? What workouts do I need to do for that? What foods can I do? That's why I'm fasting today. That's why I'm doing some different foods for the next 2 days so that I can kind of change physique, but also I can really detox my body and get rid of anything that shouldn't be in it. I'm constantly trying to seek ways that I can improve my health because I'm infatuated with that process. I'm doing it in an intense way. And yes, consistency is important and it likely will get you some great results. But when you change the intensity of that consistency, I think it changes everything.
I just think that when you're considering what you're trying to accomplish, you should really go at it 100%. I have Ecclesiastes 9:10 tattooed on my forearm. And the reason it's there is because it says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do so with all your might. And when I think about that, what I'm thinking about is that basically what it continues further into the verse to say is that there is no work whither thou goest. I mean, so when you die, the work on this earth is over. Yeah. So what are you holding back for? Like, what are you reserving that energy for? What are you not giving 100% for? And this should be true to your kids. This should be true to your spouse. This should be true to what you do for a living, whether you enjoy it or not. If you don't, find another job. It's like, I realize that's easier said than done, but at the end of the day, why aren't you giving 100% to something? So if you come in and you say, like, I want to be well, I feel like garbage, why aren't you willing to give 100% to being well then? Don't give 50%. Well, you just don't understand. I need my wine. I need my chocolate. I need my cheese. I do understand. I had a heart attack because as a doctor told me I was fat, quote unquote. Not me saying that. A doctor told me that that's actually what caused my heart attack. You think I don't understand that you want to eat food? You think I don't understand that you want the things that I just said? Of course I understand that. But at the end of the day, I've made a decision to want something greater than I want the food. Does that mean I don't have things that are off of that parameter? No. Does that mean I don't have cheese ever again? No. Does it mean I don't have sugar ever again? No. But it does mean I'm intelligent about how I do it. And I really try to achieve an A+ when it comes to my grade. All these people over time would talk about being 90-10. And I actually at one point did a radio show on the 90-10. I'm about 90% or I'm doing better. Like, what is better? What does better even mean?
Right.
Does better mean that like at lunch you made a good decision in the week? So you literally had one thing out of 100 this week that are better? I mean, I'm proud of you for stepping towards the positivity, but is it going to persist into the next week, or are you going to backstep once? Really think about what you're trying to accomplish, no matter what it is in life, and go 100% full force into it.
Get the intensity behind your consistency. Get up, get ready, give it all you've got, and just get started. Get after it. Get after it strong. Get after it hard. And I mean, don't give up. Don't give in to those things. Get around some like-minded individuals. Get around some strong people that will inspire you and motivate you and that want to eat healthy and that want to live a healthy lifestyle. Care about what you're listening to. Care about what you're watching. All of this stuff is feeding your mind. It matters. I don't care if anyone in your family, I don't care if you don't have a single person in your family that's trying to be healthy. Do it. My daughter is 11, about to be 12, and she's doing it. If she can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it. We believe in you. We have faith in you, and we believe God for breakthrough in your life. For more information on a 6-month nutrition program with us at Integrity, or to meet with a personal trainer for a free personal fitness assessment, take a look at us at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your doorstep from my personal healthy bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-finished beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com. Thank you so much for listening today. God bless you as you seek after the optimal health that we know you deserve.